Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. Welcome back to another theatre video here on my own little spot on YouTube called Open Roads and Theatre Seats. That is the longest introduction I have ever done. You are welcome. Today we are going to do another nervous person guide. I still am up in the air on what to call these. I used to just call them like a trip to the theatre, and then I decided to make it more of a guide situation, and I'm still playing with the name, so stick with it. If you have any great ideas, let me know. But today we are going to talk about one show. The top may give it away. The name of this video will also probably give it away. We're going to talk about Mean Girls, the musical, currently on at the Savoy Theatre in London. If you want to know my thoughts and feelings, this is not the video for that. That will happen in next video on this channel. Today we're going to talk about everything else about the theatre. So if I had experienced anything towards the theatre itself, toilets, any sensory content, anything, warnings. So if that sounds like something that could be useful to you, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. Hit it. Mean Girls, the musical, currently playing at Savoy. I firstly don't want to know how much money over the years I've spent at the Savoy Theatre, because it would probably be quite a lot. My first experience there was Legally Blonde, another Pink show. I visited it a good amount of times for Pretty Woman. I also saw Dreamgirls there, which is where my initiation to Marisha Wallace happened. And now I've returned to see Mean Girls. I really quite enjoy the Savoy Theatre. Again, like other theatres, I don't know why this is, but I've only ever been in the stalls. Yeah, maybe I should have broadened my horizons, but I'm a stalls girly. So there we are. People have their spaces in theatres. I enjoy a stall seat, unless I am sat behind someone tall. But that's a story for a different day. In regards to the theatre itself, if you've never been to the Savoy Theatre, let me let you know that it is right next to the entrance to the Savoy Hotel. And you literally are greeted by a little walkway, which is currently covered because somewhere in the area they're doing building work. So you walk through a little tunnel situation and you join a queue. Around theatre time, so around the 2:30 start and obviously the 7:30 start, there will slowly become a queue. And so if you look for a queue in that area, you probably will start joining the queue to get in. You have your normal bag checks and then you start descending down a lot of stairs. I am very knowledgeable, and I'm sorry for this. I don't know the access situation in regards to wheelchairs and such, because the only way I've ever been in has been on foot, and I've encountered the stairs. So you start obviously with the top level, That's after 2 sets of stairs, and then just keep going and going and going until there's no more stairs basically. The merch at the stalls level is just before the one door, and then if you go straight ahead you've got the bar and then the other side of the stalls seats. The toilets, as apparently I'm talking about them in each video now, as theatres go, they are pretty decent. There is quite a nice amount of space. You can pass people quite easily, and there is space to move around in the cubicles. There isn't obviously as much room to swing a cat, but there is space. It's not like you're one on top of each other, which is the case in certain theatres because of their age and their situation. The Savoy Theatre, quite a decent toilet, so I have no qualms there. My seat for this show, like I said, was in the stalls. I sat in row N, seat 27, so like 4 in, I think, from the side aisle. I had no sight problems. It was a comfortable enough seat. The one thing to say about the Savoy is they prove that they have aircon sometimes. The day I went, it had rained in the morning and then it kind of warmed up throughout the day. I think it was on average about 20 degrees by the time I entered the theatre. But I was in sandals because it's what I took with me, and I have to say that by the interval I had to get up and move around because my toes had literally turned to ice. It was really quite chilly in there. Bonus if you go on a hot day, not so great if it's quite a cold day when you turn up. I've always found that about the Savoy, it's quite a chilly theatre because of the aircon situation, which is a godsend but also a not so great thing depending on the situation. In regards to sensory trigger content warnings that I could think of and what affected me, firstly, Act 1 and Act 2 end pretty much in a confetti cannon. They are loud and they are not completely expected. You can expect it more in the Act 2 ending because it's an ending, but yeah, they are loud and they are quite sudden. I was unprepared for both. Also in Act 2 you have the pivotal Regina George moment. I feel like I could probably say what said moment is, because if you're going to see Mean Girls, the likelihood is you've either seen the film or you've seen the musical version that was made into a film, which I haven't seen yet because I'm terrible at watching films, but that's a story for a different day. But you know what happens in Act 2 or towards the end of the film, you know, with Regina George and yeah, that again, you can kind of know when it's coming up if you've seen the film. Basically Katie is running towards Regina to try and solve things and sort things out, and then the thing happens. I wasn't expecting it to be done how it was done. It was cleverly done, but it was sudden, it was quite loud again. Yeah, it was another thing. I don't know how my brain was preparing me for that moment, but it wasn't what we received. But I quite enjoyed it in a way. Each your own though. I know some people are like, that's a bit rude. And that's okay. We all have opinions. Like, insert end of line there. They were my main moments. Obviously, with me already knowing the film quite well, for it being around for so long, it was less of a shock on certain moments. But in my notes I put music not too loud, aircon is freezing, and screens are bright although not necessarily flashing. I will mention this again in the next video, but the use of screens is quite pivotal in this show. There is a lot of video, photo set, all projected through these screens at the back of the stage. If I can remember, I'll put a picture of my seat view, and all the back where you can see in the white with the pictures is all screens, which is used to change scenes and sets. So you can go from a school to Regina's house, etc. They are cleverly used, and like I said, they aren't too bright. However, I did have to put my glasses on like the old lady that I am halfway through the show, because they were not overly bright, but they took a lot of focusing, and when you're focusing on the people on that stage and you've got all that going on in the background, my eyes just got a little bit tired. Like I said, I am a grandma, but at the same time I can see their use. I'm not complaining about them, but they are there and they are not easily avoided. Let's leave it at that. And that is all I wrote on my notes to do with the warnings and such. More of a sensory thing than anything else for me. Like I said, I do know the film quite well, so I was prepared for certain aspects. But if you've never seen the film before, you may want to kind of maybe read a synopsis just so you know what you're getting into. But it's a high school rom-com-y, comedic, fun afternoon, and everyone will be wearing pink in your audience. Literally, I decided on the day that I watched it that I was going to go and see this show, and so I had not prepared an outfit, which gutted me to the core, because I do quite like to dress up for a show to do with the show. And yeah, I couldn't, so I was in green. Oh, no! And I think everyone around me was in some shade of pink or such. It's not a colour I wear a lot, but I would have worn it. So there is that. But there we are. That is it. I'm going to stop chatting because I've witched on for long enough. If you have any questions or you feel like I've missed anything and you've seen the show yourself and want to add anything in relation to triggers or sensory or content warnings, then please feel free to help out others in the comments down below. I just want these to be like safe spaces for anyone who needs to know anything about the shows. But that is enough for me yammering on for another day. I'm going to leave you alone and say thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Like I said at the beginning of this video, the next video up will be my thoughts and feelings on this show. So if you want to know those, stick around and we'll get into it next time round. But there we are. I love you a lot, so I hope to see you in my next video. Cheerio, so long, farewell, goodbye.